About radio.
Hi guys, this is the second part of what I think is going to be a two-part video about well, the ramblings of a radio enthusiast. It was going to be how to realign a communications receiver, but it didn't shape up that way. But I've salvaged what I can of the footage that I took. So if you haven't seen the previous number of About Radio, whatever this is, then there's not a lot of point in watching in this, my friends. So I'm sure there'll be more interesting things. So this is just a continuation of the saga of the IF alignment. Well, I think I'm going to change the title of this particular video because I was going to put it under the heading of recalibrating or checking the calibration of the Eddystone radio. But I did say at the beginning that I would give it to you warts and all. Well, I've got warts, carbuncles and boils, I think. I've got everything set up here and I had everything running for a few hours and then I got the very distinctive smell of a selenium rectifier burning out, or at least that's what it smells like. And the tele-equipment scope has packed up on me. So I'm going to carry on, but I've got to do things differently to what I was expecting. I will set to at some stage and have a look at mending that, but I don't want to do that today. So slight change of plan, such is life. So this is my new working conditions. I've got the other oscilloscope here. This oscilloscope doesn't have the X output that gives me the time base output that I need to drive the wobulator, which is a real shame. But anyway, I've got the advance producing 450 kilohertz, as you can see up on the frequency counter there. I've got the level decade generator producing 400 hertz, and that's the resulting combination of those two waveforms. So that's just over 1 volt peak to peak and about 30% modulation. And what I'm going to do is feed that signal into the radio. Normally, as I say, I don't rehearse anything, but I had so much hassle that it would have just bored the pants off you to watch it through. So I've scrubbed where I did think I was going on the video. What I have done now is I've marked up the cores, as I said at the beginning, sort of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. That's the order that I'll be tweaking them in. And what I'm going to do this by ear and with the aid of a meter, because what I found before everything went belly up was that it does look as though someone's been in and messed with the IFs previously. So I'm going to tweak them by ear, which is not recommended. But on the basis of it's my radio and I've got nothing to lose, I'm going to do it anyway. But that's not a recommended practice. Oh, the other thing I've got, but it's out of shot, is a little AVO there, an AVO 8. I'll have that so as you can see it. Okay, so that frequency, that modulated frequency, is going to be fed into the radio, into that position X that I showed you. Then what I'm going to do, I'm going to put the AVO, it's across the speaker. I'll put that so as you can see it, and then I'm going to twiddle each of the IF transformers. Well, I've had a real shed load of hassle with this so far, apart from the oscilloscope burning out. I fed the 450 kilohertz frequency into point X, and I couldn't hear it. I couldn't hear it at all. I won't be able to use my wobulator because the scope's gone. I thought, well, I'll put the signal in and just have a listen. And I say, couldn't hear it. So much so, I went and got another radio. This is, I think, 460 kilohertz EIF, and injected the signal into this, and no problem. Because I thought, you know, maybe there's something wrong with the test equipment. You know, I'm doing something wrong. But eventually, I've got it to a stage where I can detect the 450 kilohertz if I dab it on and off, or tweak the modulating frequency. But as a continuous tone, it's virtually impossible to find it. It really surprised me that, because I've got an aerial on, and I'll just turn the gain up.
It must be stopped immediately.
The meter, it's on 100 volts AC at the moment, and that's across the 600 ohm output terminals, so that's the audio output terminals.
To continue to be shed day and night. Πολλές ανακατατάξεις.
So the radio is clearly working. So I'll just whip that area off, and what I'll do is I'll put this test signal in now. And you should just be able to hear it. Having said that, it's very, very faint. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to tweak the IF pots. So I can't use my wobulator, so I've got the meter and I'm listening to it. Then I'm going to put this down on the 3 volt scale, and you'll see it's just about moving. I think what I'll do is I'll zoom in on this bit so that you can better see what's happening. I hope that meter is going to be readable. At the moment, that pointer is at half of. Sorry, I'm on the 3 volt scale. It's down here, so 0.15 of a volt. I'm going to adjust core number 1. Plastic tool, obviously. And I'm looking to peak that. Number 1 hasn't done much. That's brought it up a little bit. Number 3. Okay, that's brought it up to 0.25 of a volt. I'm going to number 4. Okay, now that's brought it up to a bit variable there. 1, 2, 3.5. Oh wow. I'm going on to 10 volt range now. I'm going on to the 30 volt range. turn the AF gain down. You saw what a difference I got there. I'll just change that tone. So hopefully you can hear that. Okay, I'm going to go through that again and pick up on number 1 again. That's about 12 volts. So I'll disconnect that and I'll pop an aerial back on.
First fruits. Afterward, believer Christ at his coming. ¿Qué desea?
Just look at all this. Jesus says, I tell you something. Assuredly I say to you.
Well, I hope you found that interesting. I've learned a lot from the experience, and something I have just thought about really is that even if I had the other scope and the wobulator, I would have had to have adjusted the IF cores anyway, because that characteristic response curve was just a flat line. It really wasn't there. I am disappointed that I couldn't have followed it through and actually brought it back to life, or that curve back to life, and see it on the scope, and that would have been a really interesting video, I think. It's surprising how even though the radio was deaf to the IF signal, the radio still worked. I was really quite surprised. Say it does seem a lot livelier. I haven't put a decent aerial on it yet, and had a good tune around the band. But I guess my next video is going to be taking the hammer to this beast, and say it smells like a rectifier has gone. That very distinctive smell from a metal rectifier. But of course I don't know what's pulled the rectifier down. So anyway, thanks for watching. Bye bye.
Le pape a poursuivi pour l'avoir violé après l'avoir une petite amie au fils. Ah, bah.